Would you believe me if I told you that most of this iconic park space in downtown Burlington used to be Lake Ontario? Hello, I'm Rochelle, a local realtor who loves sharing my communities and what living on the western shores of Lake Ontario is all about. Burlington continues to win awards among mid-sized cities across Canada, and our downtown community is a big reason why. The flagship of Burlington's park system creates the ideal backdrop for our downtown shops, restaurants, and cultural centers. Of course, I'm talking about Spencer Smith Park. Year-round, this park sees hundreds of thousands of visitors who come for a multitude of reasons, from festivals to events to spending time with loved ones. Visiting Spencer Smith Park is a part of the local lifestyle here. If you're curious about moving to Burlington, be sure to download my relocation guide, which is linked in the description below. Now we will get into present-day uses and what you can expect, but the history of this park space is something special. So let's kick off by acknowledging the treaty lands and territory of the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation, and recognize the land we stand on as being home and traditional territory to Indigenous people since time immemorial. The park space land in particular was part of a large parcel given to Joseph Brant for his service to the Crown during the American Revolution. Joseph Brant is a name many will associate with our hospital just beyond the west end of Spencer Smith Park. But Joseph Brant was a Mohawk war chief who fought with the British and advocated for his people when meeting with prominent figures like King George III and George Washington. His real name was Thayendanegea, and locally, the North Burlington neighborhood of Thayendanegea is another ode to his incredible impact locally. If you are curious about the different neighborhoods in Burlington, I have covered them all and will link that in the description below as well for you. Now, the Joseph Brant Museum, which opened its improved facility in 2019, is also located on the western edge of Spencer Smith Park, and his replica home, which was restored in 1938, continues to overlook the shores of Lake Ontario. If you haven't visited the museum yet, it's definitely worth adding to your list, and keep an eye on the different exhibits that are on display throughout the year. If you've got kids in need of programs, their camps are incredible as well. Now, one of the reasons Spencer Smith Park is so iconic locally is because of the multitude of activities and events throughout the year. From a beautiful place to stroll lakeside, to free festivals where we come together to celebrate, to stunning seasonal displays, to enjoying a meal overlooking the shores of Lake Ontario. There's no other place in the city quite like Burlington's flagship park space. Now, if you're enjoying the video so far, please give it a like, subscribe, and click that bell to turn on notifications so you never miss an upcoming episode. So looking at the expansive lawn, you might be wondering what I meant at the beginning of the video where I said all of this used to be Lake Ontario. Join me for a stroll back through time to when Burlington was still a village, and the main road connecting Hamilton to Toronto was Lakeshore. The stretch through the village was very close to the lake, and if you've ever been downtown during a winter storm, you know how quickly the water could overtake the steep limestone cliffs, causing mayhem for those traveling on the main road. The erosion was a serious concern, and in 1906, councillors sought funding to protect the shoreline without success. After many years and a stroke of luck, the first mayor of Burlington managed to secure funding after taking a trip to Ottawa. In the years after, the breakwall was finally in place, protecting the shores and creating a safe harbor for small boats. That safe harbor is where much of the lawns are today. It's hard to imagine our downtown without the festivals and green space, but that harbor helped protect the main road, which led to the iconic Brant Inn being able to host so many gatherings and celebrities of the day. Spencer Smith, a local grocery store owner, born in England, who had his humble beginnings as a teenage farmhand with a local family, was a charter member of Burlington's Horticultural Society and was passionate about the beautification of the town he loved. In 1933, while president of the Burlington Horticultural Society, he set his sights on the land at the base of Brant Street and embarked on creating a beautiful waterfront space for locals known as Lakeside Park. Many of the large mature trees throughout Old Burlington are a result of his seedlings, and the impact can be felt rippling through time when in 2017, the willows he planted had reached the end of their life and had to be removed for safety, to the dismay of many locals. His efforts and leadership are why in 1942, the park space was renamed Spencer Park. So when did it start to resemble what we know and love today? Well, in the 1950s, the town created the Department of Recreation, who took over the park maintenance and began to add some more fill to build up the land. Then, with the 100-year celebration of Canada's founding approaching, the town was looking for unique Centennial projects. The decision was made to fill in the water all the way to the breakwall, from Spencer Park west all the way to the now closed but still standing at the time Brant Inn. So in 1965, construction began on Confederation Terrace and filling in the water in time for the 1967 Centennial celebrations. The Burlington Centennial Committee proposed a new name, Wellington Square Park, to commemorate the hamlet that became a part of Burlington in 1873. But locals passionately objected, and in the end, the committee decided to rename the park Spencer Smith Park. So before Burlington even became a city, Spencer Smith Park stood proud on the shores of Lake Ontario. With so much of the history long gone, it's nice to know there are monuments throughout the park to reflect on the past. There's the Navy Memorial, in honor of the Canadians who served in the Navy during World War II. Located just west of the Brant Street Pier, this 6'4" bronze statue is of a World War II Canadian sailor at attention, saluting lost shipmates. Installed in 1995, it is one of two main locations where Remembrance Day services are held on November 11th each year. As you head towards the west end of Spencer Smith Park, Canadian hero Terry Fox also has a monument to mark his 3,582nd kilometer ran during the Marathon of Hope. There are plenty of locals who still remember July 13th, 1980, when Terry ran through the city along Lakeshore to raise money for cancer research. If you stand at the most western lookout on the Promenade, there is the story of the victory at Burlington Bay, which had a direct impact on the last invasion of Canada in 1814. Another local landmark of years long gone is the Brant Inn, which I did cover in another video all about the history of Burlington Beach. So if you're interested in the big bands that used to play and attract celebrities to the western shores of Lake Ontario, check out the link in the description. Now, if we jump forward into the 1990s, the breakwall was improved to become the two-tiered 706-meter promenade. It has become the popular path to enjoy the scenic panoramic views of Lake Ontario, the Pier, and the Skyway Bridge off in the distance. Seasonally, the promenade and pier are accessible year-round. However, come winter, the ice that forms with those winter storms can create very slippery conditions. This time of year, note that the city posts signs that they do not maintain and you use at your own risk. Another permanent feature is the Lady of the Lake, who was installed in 1973 after being gifted to the city by the Burlington Lions Club. It sits beside the main parking lot, which truthfully is very small and is often full. Do note it's a pay-to-park situation, so you may want to park elsewhere and walk to Spencer Smith. If you're lucky enough to live in one of the South End neighborhoods along the paved Centennial Trail, you can bike downtown in no time. See the full pathway in another video I created, which I will also link below. The playground is one of my kids' favorites in the city. With different climbers, swings, and a zip line, there's something for all ages. There is also the DeFasco Water Jet Splash Pad, which opened in 2006 and gives kids a fun way to cool down over the summer months. Beside the playground, you'll find Rotary Centennial Pond, which offers hobbyists a calm space to captain their boats during the warmer months. There are signs posted, but as a reminder, this is not a wading pool in the summer. It is not for people or pets to play in. Come the winter months, the water freezes and converts to an awesome waterfront skating location. With low edges to take a break, skate rentals, and assists to help new skaters, it's a winter treat to come down for a lakeside skate. Now, if you are looking for more outdoor skating locations, I did cover 11 of our local spots in another video, which I will link in the description below for you. Spencer's at the Waterfront is a dining experience in Burlington, where the large windows offer diners views of the lake, as well as a lakeside patio during the warmer months. There is also an observatory that is host to many events and weddings due to the picturesque setting. Below the restaurant, there is the Discovery Center, which offers public washrooms, a warm place to put on skates, a water refilling station, and a grab-to-go concession-style eatery. As I film this, it's December, and that means the Festival of Lights is on display, with more than 60 displays scattered throughout the 6+ acres of park space from the end of November until the first week of January. Like most events downtown, it's free to visit. Just be sure you are respectful of these displays that started brightening our holiday season since 1995. I did cover the Festival of Lights in another episode, so please check the description below for more information. One thing I love about this park is besides the stairs installed at the base of Brant Street during the 1967 Centennial renewal and the set in the middle of the lawns by the pedestrian crosswalk, the rest of the pathways are completely accessible. Now, there are the stairs at the Pearle, but it's considered just beyond the park despite the pathway connecting, and it also offers ramps down to the waterfront trail. The Brant Street ramp is steep, but the rest of the inclines are reasonable and allow people of all ages and abilities to enjoy this flagship park. With the more than 1 kilometer of waterfront trail, plus the 2 kilometers of other pathways throughout the park space, there is a lot to explore here. Of course, we can't miss talking about the iconic Brant St Pier that almost never was. We're so used to the 137-meter curved pier with its 12-meter tall beacon that's graced the shoreline since 2013 that it's hard for many to imagine a waterfront view without the colorful vantage point. But before opening in 2013, there was a time when the build was at a standstill. Running millions over budget, the cost to complete was weighing heavy on our elected officials. Determining it would cost just as much to tear it down as it would to complete, the choice to persevere with the unique curvature and create this downtown destination was made. Now it is the backdrop that we all instantly recognize during the many festivals throughout the year. The Sound of Music Festival kicks off the summer with free concerts, vendors to explore, and core streets shut down to traffic so pedestrians can frequent the local shops and restaurants. The summer is filled with different festivals, from Canada Day celebrations to food trucks to children's events and movies under the stars. There's a lot happening at Spencer Smith Park year-round. Come the end of summer, the park is host to Canada's largest rib fest every Labor Day weekend, offering so much more than just ribs for locals to enjoy. There are also 2 beaches for some water fun. One inside Spencer Smith Park at the western base of the pier, but also Burlington Beachway, which adjoins the park's west end with more than 3 kilometers of trails along the sandbar towards Hamilton. Now, I have covered the beaches extensively, from the history of Burlington Beach to 17 local beaches you should check out during the hot summer months. If you're curious, check the description below for the link. Culturally, Burlington takes an interest in artists and sharing local talent with events like art walks, where different pieces are showcased for a period of time, to events like Lakeside a la carte, where local restaurants and beverage companies can showcase their creations, being across the street from the Art Gallery of Burlington, and a short walk to the Burlington Performing Arts Center. The city celebrates the arts every chance it has. Now, a more recent addition to the park space is the completion of the Pearle, creating a second waterfront hotel as well as a condo residence. With an award-winning spa, lakeside restaurant with patio, coffee shop, water feature, and retail stores, it's a beautiful addition to our waterfront space. The other hotel is the Waterfront Hotel with a pool overlooking the pier and lake, as well as a restaurant with arguably the best view of the pier for any of the downtown restaurants. That said, there is a proposal to develop the space as the progress around the park and Burlington's downtown is never ending. Now, we've covered summer, fall, and winter, but Spencer Smith Park truly is an all-season attraction, and spring is a very special time of year here. In 1997, Burlington received a gift from our twin city, Itabashi, Japan, of sakura trees which have been planted throughout the city. With more than 25 planted in a row along Spencer Smith Park's northeastern edge, it's no surprise that the Sakura Festival, or Cherry Blossom Festival, is celebrated here every spring. Now, if you've enjoyed this video or found it helpful, please give it a like, subscribe, and click that bell to turn on notifications so you never miss an upcoming episode. And if you're thinking about a move in or around the Burlington area, please feel free to connect. I am always happy to chat about your real estate goals. Until next time, keep it genuine.